A few hours before the Kobe earthquake in 1995, a strange detail slipped past almost everyone. A night guard making his usual rounds near a closed warehouse reported seeing a man standing in the middle of the street, perfectly still, wearing something that looked like ancient armor. He held no weapon. He made no threat. He simply watched. The strangest part? A white animal, as large as a tiger, stood beside him, silent, staring in the same direction. The guard blinked. The street was empty. 2 hours later, the ground began to shake. And that wasn't the only account. Across the decades, in isolated villages, forgotten temples, and quiet rural roads, similar sightings have emerged. Apparitions of a silent warrior, always accompanied by a white creature, always before some natural disaster, strange disappearance, or event no one could explain. Some call it coincidence, others a legend. But there are those who say these encounters belong to something much older, an ancient order of guardians that never truly disappeared. There is no official name for what witnesses describe. Some call it the White Warrior, others the Guardian of the Mist. But among Japanese folklore researchers, one title appears more than any other: the Order of the Phantom Samurai. According to old accounts, these warriors belong to no known clan. They do not appear in records, battles, or family lines. They are never seen fighting, only watching and always in the same pattern: a solitary samurai, standing in absolute silence, a white tiger at his side like a spiritual companion, and an unexplained event unfolding soon after. A natural disaster, a disappearance, a tragedy, or a collective sense of warning no one can explain. Over time, 3 details became consistent. 1, they're never seen up close, always at a distance, in empty places where fog hides their face in armor. Some witnesses say the armor looks far too old to exist. 2, the tiger makes no sound, no growl, no breathing, no movement, as if it were a presence more symbolic than physical. 3, something always follows the sighting, not always a tragedy. Sometimes a sudden change, a disappearance, or simply an overwhelming feeling that something is about to shift. It's as if these spirits were messengers, silent warnings that something is coming. But the strangest part is still ahead. Because there are accounts, both ancient and modern, so precise and so synchronized that they suggest these appearances aren't random at all. And that's where the story truly begins to get unsettling. The first documented case that truly drew attention happened in Nagano, on a mountain road mostly used by truck drivers and locals. It was late at night, thick fog, temperatures below freezing. A driver, who chose not to reveal his name, said that as he turned a sharp curve, he saw a figure standing in the middle of the road. A man perfectly still, wearing armor that reflected the headlights as if it were polished metal. Beside him, something larger shifted slowly. The driver thought it was a bear, until he realized it was a white tiger, staring at the truck as if waiting for something. He slammed the brakes. For a moment, he considered stepping out to ask for help or scare the animals away. But help didn't make sense. The man didn't look injured. He looked present, as if guarding the place. When the driver blinked, the scene changed. The tiger was still there, but the samurai had vanished as if he had stepped into the fog itself. The next morning, news spread across the region. A section of a different mountain road, just a few kilometers away, had collapsed overnight, an entire stretch swallowed by mud and falling rock. When the driver saw the news, he connected the pieces instantly. The apparition, the tiger, the absolute silence, and the sudden disappearance. He shared the story with family, then with locals, and eventually with a small group of researchers who were already collecting similar accounts. And every one of them said the same thing. They warn us. They always warn us. This was the first modern case, the first clear record that established a pattern. But it wasn't the strangest. The ones that came after are much harder to explain. The second case didn't happen on a road, and it didn't involve just one person. It happened in Shirakawa, an old village surrounded by mountains and trees so tall they block most of the sunlight. It's the kind of place where nothing ever changes. Wooden houses, steep roofs, and constant quiet. And it was the quiet that first raised suspicion. At dawn, a group of farmers heading out to their fields noticed something unusual on the path. Huge feline footprints pressed into the fresh snow. They followed the trail, which curved around a few houses and led toward a small abandoned shrine, a place no one had entered in decades. As the farmers approached, they saw something none of them could explain. Right at the foot of the stone steps was a man kneeling, dressed in ancient armor, as if paying respect to something invisible. The white tiger stood behind him, motionless, staring directly at the group. The most unsettling detail: there was no sound, no wind, no birds, no breathing. The villagers froze, not out of fear, but because of a strange, almost reverent feeling that none of them had ever experienced. One of the older farmers stepped forward. And at that exact moment, the samurai lifted his head. There was no face. The shadow of the helmet revealed only darkness inside, a hollow, impossible void. The farmers stepped back instinctively, and when they blinked, the shrine was empty again. Only the tiger's footprints remained, leading toward the forest until they vanished among the trees. Hours later, the entire village received news. A massive avalanche had crashed down on the main road, blocking the only entrance to the valley. Had the farmers left a few minutes later, they would have been trapped or killed. Some called it luck, others a warning, a silent intervention from something no one truly understands. And from that day on, no one entered the abandoned shrine again. Not out of fear, but out of respect. The third case is recent. It happened in 2023 near a decommissioned tunnel in Yamanashi, a mountainous region often visited by urban explorers looking for abandoned places to film. One of these explorers, known only as Kaito, was testing a new camera. He walked alone, recording the inside of the tunnel, commenting on the cracks, the creeping vegetation. Nothing unusual, until the camera captured something his eyes never saw. As he passed a side opening where the light didn't reach, the footage shows, for just 2 seconds, the silhouette of a man standing still, wearing dark, aged armor, looking directly at the camera. Beside him, 2 pale shapes drift in the darkness, like stripes, or the slow movement of something large shifting its weight. Kaito didn't notice at the time. He only saw it days later while editing the footage. He paused, rewound, increased the brightness. The figure was unmistakably there, rigid, unmoving, with the same pattern described in other cases. The still body, the head slightly lowered, and the hand resting where a sword hilt should have been. But there was something stranger. In the faint reflection of the armor's chest plate, the outline of a white tiger can be seen, not a physical animal, more like a luminous shape, a presence standing behind the warrior. Kaito uploaded the video. Hours later, he deleted it. He said he received anonymous messages telling him to take it down. Said someone was trying to trace his location. No one knows if that's true. The original file was never found, but copies of the clip still circulate in obscure forms, always followed by the same question. If this is fake, why has no one been able to reproduce the light reflected on the armor? And that's the point. The scientific side doesn't add up. The logical side doesn't add up, but the pattern fits perfectly. Silence, a lone kid, an abandoned place, the apparition. And in the following days, a landslide at the tunnel entrance, triggered by a sudden storm. Another warning, or just another encounter no one was ever meant to record? After so many accounts, both old and modern, certain questions keep returning. Who are these warriors? Why do they appear only before significant events? And why are they always accompanied by the white tiger? For many folklore researchers, there is a possible explanation. In ancient Asian symbolism, the white tiger, known as Baiko, is the guardian of the West, a spiritual creature associated with protection, wisdom, and omens. It does not announce death, it announces change. And interestingly, in all 3 recorded cases, the samurai never took any action. He didn't attack, didn't flee, didn't try to communicate, he simply observed. As if he were there to witness something, not to prevent it. Some researchers suggest these warriors could represent spirits of ancient protectors, tied not to people, but to places, to mountains, to villages, to forgotten shrines. Guardians that awaken when something approaching threatens the natural balance. Others believe these sightings aren't literal apparitions, but collective visions, symbols that emerge when the human mind senses a looming change it cannot rationally explain. As if the consciousness of a place manifested itself through figures that make sense to that culture. And there are theories even stranger than that. Some claim the samurai and the tiger are not two beings, but one, two faces of the same entity, the warrior as the body, the tiger as the spirit, a presence that watches, observes, and appears when the world is on the verge of turning a page. Whatever the explanation may be, one thing is clear. These apparitions always follow the same pattern: silent places, unlikely hours, and moments that precede some kind of rupture. And in their own way, they seem to carry the same message. Something is coming, stay aware.